Just wanted to remind you, I'm always watching. All seeing, all knowing, because of what? Cameras. And now you can be too. So welcome back. We are continuing from Happy over here. We did in the last one. Happy says, watch out for bad apples. Yeah, we'll do that. And this time, as promised, I'm going to show you the CCTV stuff. Yeah, you don't say. So let's get right into that. Let's come out of this. Go here. All right. So let's see here. We're going to go down to this. So we get back in the level. All right. Now, all the real magic happens with the global volume here. Okay. So what we're going to be adjusting in this tutorial will be this element here, film grain, and this one here, color adjustments. All right. And if you don't have those in your global volume, then you can just add override and type in, F, and it'll probably come right up that you can pick it. So that's what we're doing here is changing these for the real bread and butter of the effect there. So that's your global volume here, and these are your elements. And then I have a cctv manager object, okay, over here in the hierarchy, which was just an empty object. And on it, you see I have this script, cctv. And inside that, I'm declaring a static sound with this element over here. The main cam, that's uh, this camera here, okay. The player cam, that's the camera that's on this player, okay. This is just the standard starter first person guy I brought in. So this is his cam, and that's how we're going to switch back and forth between player and player and the CCTV. Excuse me, it was 420 right before this. So let's see. So that's the CCTV manager. Then we've got a static object, which is just, again, an empty game object with an audio source. Okay. And the clip is static right here. And it just plays that in the background on a loop. Okay. While you're in CCTV mode. Okay. So that's what static is. And then we got 4 virtual cameras. Now, to get a virtual camera, you just right click in the hierarchy, you go down to Cinemachine, and it's right here, virtual camera. Okay. And once you get it, here is my settings for it. Okay. You want to follow target of none, look at of none, round robin's fine. Uh, blend hint, screen space, aim when targets differ. Okay. That must have come like that because I didn't put it like that. But anyway, you go down to the body, do nothing, and the aim, do nothing. Okay, and that's how you set up your virtual camera. They're all the same. Okay, and you can see in their local position how they're aiming down. Let's see if we can get a better view of this level here. Okay, so like this one here is the one up in this corner looking down this way. This one here, of course, this corner, so on. Okay, so those are your cameras, and they're inside this object. All right. Now, the code on this object. Oh, and we've got our CCTV camera array. You're gonna see in the code. And all I did was drag these cameras over to here. Okay. You just click on them, drag, and drop them there. Because once you make your array, this will come up, and you provide how many elements are in it. Okay, and then it'll give you those slots, and then you just drag the cameras over. And This is the order I have them in case you're wondering. And then just the audio source with that click sound, like I said, for when you're. So let's get into the code. Here we have public class, we have our usings. I'm using also .rendering.universal, and sin machine. We're using the two renderings to access the global volume and its elements. And then sin machine we need for the cameras. Down in the public class, we've got a public game object, static sound, and that again is just the empty game object with the audio source on it. Then a private audio source, which is on the cctv object, and I call it click because that's all it does, play that click sound. Then we got the bunch of publics, a game object for the main cam and the player cam, one for monitor, and all this is an image. It's that image around the static. I'll show you. Okay, so it's this image here. Okay, that's the monitor. It's just an image with an alpha cut out in the middle, and I put it on the canvas and stretched it across. All right, so that's what that is. And dot, that's right after. Oh, I'm sorry. I gotta. Okay, so dot, that's right after it is the reticle in the center of the screen. So that's just an image too. So the monitor and the dot right here are just images on the canvas. Then we declare our public volume and call it volume. And that's the global volume right here. Okay. And then here's our public CineMachine virtual camera array called cctvs. And it's public. You saw it in the inspector where you dragged your cameras into it. We've got a bool that says if we're viewing CCTV and it's equal to false right now, so that we start out in normal play mode, the player. We created a private integer, I, and equal it to 2. And this will be what camera it starts on. And for some reason, I have to start at 2, or it did some funny stuff if I did 1 or the last number. So I put it to 2, and it works fine. Then we've got our start. We declare our volume profile, and make it equal to volume.shared profile. Then we take this right here profile and try to get the film grain, which I showed you, and the color adjustments, the elements in the global volume. So we get film grain out variable, I called it FG for film grain, and then try to get color adjustments out variable CA for color adjustments. And then we make them both false because we do not want to start in CCTV mode. Okay. And then click, we declare our audio source as our private audio source on this transform game object, which was the empty one. Okay. Then we get the update. If our first if statement, input get key down, and I just put Q. I don't know why. Felt like it. Then it runs this function, switch to security cams. It turns the CCTVs on. Okay. And this is the function we'll get to in a minute. So after it does this, actually, we can do it now. Public void switch to security cams. If the player cam dot active self equals true. In other words, the player is active and not CCTV. Okay, it's static sound dot set active true. We're going to turn this stuff on. These are all elements of the effect. The monitor, which is on the screen, the dot in the center, we're turning off. Static sound, we're making true, which is just sound to play in the background. Then it turns the main cam to true and sets the player's defaults. All right. So now we're in CCTV mode. You can see it, you can hear it, you can switch back and forth through the update with these if statements. Okay, so if you press key Z, then we set that integer we declared earlier, I, right here. CCTV, if it's, if you press Z, right, it checks to see if I is less than the length of the array minus one. Okay, and I don't know why I have to do the minus one. I shouldn't, but I get errors if I don't, so that's why I do. So if I is less than the end of the array, then CCTV's I in square brackets because it's an array dot priority equals 0. So we're telling the priority of the camera we're currently on that now you're 0 and we don't want you anymore. And then we increment I by 1 and we set the new current camera priority to 100. You're the one I want. So now your priority is 100 and it'll automatically switch. And then you got click play, just plays the sound of clicking. And then, else, so if it's not less than the length of the array, then we want it to go to the beginning again. So CCTV's I priority equals 0. We again we tell the one we're on currently, I don't want to be on you. And then we set I equal to CCTV's get lower bound 0, the beginning of the array. So, if you go over, there's 4 cameras. So if you go over 4, it sets back to 0. Okay, and again, we set the new priority to 100 and click play, just for the sound. And then X is the same thing, except it does it backwards. So I don't need to explain that. Okay, and that's the input, the update. And then, of course, this one, it's pretty self-explanatory. We set the background looping static sound to true. We take the dot off the screen. That's like the reticle. And then the monitor we set active so you can see it. We switch the main cam and the player cam, get the volume profile. Then we do profile, try and get the film grain and the color adjustments. And we set them both active because we're in security cam mode here. And then we set the bool to true, saying verifying we're in security mode. And then, obviously if this is the player's active and not on the CCTV, then the else would be the opposite. He is on the CCTV and he simply wants to go back to being the player and moving around. And that's what all this does. It's basically this, but backwards. So I don't have to explain that either. Okay. And then, you've had a good chance to pause and stuff if I missed anything, but that's it. I mean, that's not that long either, and it's pretty easy. Um, it's like a lot of my stuff. It's just looping through that and switching it off right here. So yeah, let's get this going here. So again, if you like the video, like it. If you're not subscribed, please do so because I need all the support I can get. Okay, and in the next one, like I said, maybe we can make this kind of a series because I want to start putting some weapons on this guy when he's out of CCTV and he can move around and do stuff. Give him some kind of weapon and have him fight one of these guys. Try to kill him. So the next one, maybe we'll put a weapon in here. And I'm thinking an explosive just because I like explosives. So that'll probably be the next one. And this is probably going to be kind of like a series. Appy says, and it
Watch
helps
out
me
for bad apples.
get some work done on my game too while I'm making tutorials. So yeah, probably a weapon the next time. It'll probably be like maybe we'll do like a C4. You drop C4 or something, and you can set it off. So that'll be next time. All right. Talk to you then. Peace out.